Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Locked On Flames. Things in Calgary seem to be at a standstill because, well, things are not moving as quickly as they anticipated with Johnny Gaudreau and his agent. Does that mean things are headed south for the Calgary Flames? Find out more on today's episode.
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to Locked On Flames. As always, I'm your host, Jess Belmosto. And we just have to talk about this as free agency draws near. We're kind of worried, waiting for that shoe to drop with Johnny Gaudreau and his potential departure or long-term contract in Calgary. And, we're going to dissect the reports coming out from Elliotte Friedman. We're going to talk about who could replace Johnny. I mean, it's not easy to do, but it has to be done. And of course, we're going to talk about what happens if he does walk and the logistics behind where he would go, because I've heard and seen some crazy destinations that I just don't think are absolutely slightly plausible in this day and age. But thank you so much. As always, you can subscribe to Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcasts: Spotify, Apple, Audible, Odyssey, Stitcher, and YouTube as well. Free 99 everywhere you get the show. And Elliotte Friedman, the voice of reason in hockey, the kind of, I don't want to say the new Bob McKenzie, because those were some big shoes to fill, but one of the most trusted voices in hockey, joined Pat Steinberg to talk about Johnny Hockey and kind of what things look like over there. And he said that he believes the Flames have made an offer that will be very difficult to beat. What could that possibly look like? Are we talking north of 8 million? Are we talking double digits? How many years are we talking? There are a lot of factors that obviously play into a player re-signing anywhere, but Johnny and his wife are also expecting a child. So do they want to raise a Canadian baby? I don't know, but that's the logistics that go into hockey players and these decisions. It's not just something as simple as, I want to stay here. There's another human being involved, very small human being involved here. And of course, Johnny's wife is very important in this conversation as well. And his family loves Calgary. It is very clear that they love coming out to Calgary to visit. I saw a tweet the other night that I loved, and I wish I screenshotted it so I could put it up on the screen, but basically said that the Flames should offer Guy a position within the organization, and I would love that. I would love to see that, but I cannot imagine that man leaving Jersey. I can't imagine him living in Calgary, but I don't know him, obviously. But back to the negotiations, we have to remember that they are just that, negotiations. The way I worded it was, you don't walk onto a car lot at a dealership and say, okay, I'll take that for the sticker price. No, you have to say okay, well, this dealership is going to offer me XYZ for my trade-in, and they're going to throw in the heated steering wheel for me as well. And, field other offers from different parties. And that's quite literally what Johnny's agent has to do. And I would not be shocked if almost every other team out there is inquiring about him. He is one of the best players in the league. And this wasn't just a one-off successful season where, he could potentially do this again. No, he will more than likely have a very, successful rest of his career, whether that be scoring 30 goals a season or 40 goals. Like, it's all about Johnny. It's all about Johnny hockey. And I don't think the Flames would ever lowball Johnny. I think, like when you look at Nashville and how they supposedly lowballed Filip Forsberg, and he was like, yeah, no, these negotiations are done. I don't think that that's a situation that would ever happen because the organization knows how important Johnny is to number one, to sell tickets, number two, to the team to win, and number three, revenue. But there's just a lot of work that has to be done behind the scenes. And just because we aren't seeing a tweet that says negotiations are complete, Johnny's here, another 8 years for $9.5 million AAV, whatever, like, it doesn't mean that things aren't going on. Would I like to see that tweet from the Flames account? Yes, absolutely. And I wish it would come across my screen right now as I'm recording, but it's not. And we will wait because I'm sure it will be Elliotte Friedman who says, things are heating up. Or I'm hearing the deal is finalized between Gaudreau and the Flames. And that is just what's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be a surprise. I really just, I don't want to be waiting. I want to know. I need to know for my sanity. I have Elliott's tweet notifications on, and we're waiting. We are simply just waiting. And no disrespect to Freddie Gaudreau, but I need it to be a Johnny Gaudreau extension in Calgary. And, I don't think we need to worry yet. I don't think it makes sense to expect a deal to be done between now and the 12th, like the night before free agency opens. I think that, it makes so much sense for him to sign on the 13th. 13 is his number. If you're a Taylor Swift fan, you know that everything is an Easter egg. So therefore, we just draw connections and make little conspiracy theories out of everything. But I don't think you need to worry. I really think if the report of the Flames making this offer is true, then he's coming back. He will absolutely come back. And had the Flames not had a successful season and a good playoff run, I would say he's gone. But I have hope. I really do have hope. And coming up next, we are going to have to talk about the inevitable. Who would replace Johnny if he walks? Who? But first, a word from Built Bar. Built Bar is a delicious tasting protein bar that everyone needs in their life. I have them in my cabinet out in the kitchen because I like to put fuel in my tank. And it's just a delicious tasting protein bar that is covered in 100% chocolate. It's a great way to still satisfy my sweet tooth without having to overdo the calories, carbs, and sugars. And they just taste really good. It's the mudslide bar that I have, and I'm packing some for our vacation next week, our drive down to the campsite. So, I will be fueled and ready to go. And you can get them at built.com along with their Built Puffs, which are a delicious marshmallowy treat. And you can save 15% when you use code LOCKED15 at checkout at built.com. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Locked On Flames. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at JessBelmosto. And thank you so much for sticking around and listening to Locked On Flames. The NHL draft is right around the corner, and our team of local hosts and draft experts will be breaking it down with insights and analysis for every first-round pick. So, just because the Flames don't have a first-round pick, that doesn't mean you can't still tune in and see what the Habs end up doing, see what the Sharks end up doing. Just be informed, and everybody at the network is really good at their job, and I would highly anticipate everyone just doing a great job and giving you the breakdown you need. But no, this is a breakdown I don't want to talk about. I don't want to think about. I don't want to entertain it. I don't want to speak it into existence. But we do have to talk about who would be some viable options for the Flames to replace Johnny Gaudreau. Yeah, these are not fun options. I did not have a blast writing this segment. This is not, these aren't things that I'm enjoying. But, obviously number one is Nazem Kadri, right? He is on the Flames' radar. He played some of the best hockey of his career with the Colorado Avalanche this season. Had a fantastic playoff run. Couldn't tie his skates because of his thumb injury, but still had a great postseason, right? And I would say that 28 goals and 82 points, that's pretty good. I would go just off of a hunch saying that he is going to get paid. Wherever he signs, he will be paid. The Flames would obviously need someone to replace their top scorer, their point leader. And I would say that that's a great option. But I do have some concerns here. I do. And I worry about the Flames putting all their eggs in one basket with a possible overpayment here. You can't just go out and say, okay, well, our best player left. We have to, make up for it somehow. Let's just offer this next candidate on the market more money and hope that he signs here, because that's not how you build a successful hockey team. That might work on the video games. I don't know, but it's not how you win a championship. I'm sorry. Look at what the Leafs are doing. Can't even exit the first round. Okay. So, I read a report that his deal would be a long-term deal, obviously, and could go up to $10 million a year. That is an astronomical overpayment. I'm sorry. Listen, Kadri is a great player. I think that leaving Toronto was the best thing that happened for his career. He was able to blossom and continue to play at a high level and obviously win a Stanley Cup. So he knows what it takes to win, but $10 million because he had one good season, that is some absolute nonsense. I don't like it. I don't think that you can do that right now if you are the Flames. I don't. With the cap crunch that they're in and the flat cap and just trying to navigate re-signing Tkachuk and then, Sean Monahan next year, and if that's, even a thing, if you want to win, you can't have a free agent walk in and make that kind of money. It just does not make any sense, especially when, you have to re-sign Andrew Mangiapane. It's just not a reasonable and realistic situation. I'm sorry. If you can maybe do 6, 7, yeah, that's probably more realistic, but $3 million, that's not a difference there is a lot. So you would have to get creative, and this high risk, high reward situation just should not be on the radar. And it's not something the Flames need to do. I think there are a lot more realistic options. I would love to have Nazem Kadri on the Flames, but that price tag is going to have to come down a little bit. And same thing for Filip Forsberg. Same thing. He's the same age as Johnny. He's entering that prime era of his career, probably going to be looking for a longer term deal. And he's an established player. He had career high 42 goals this year. And then last season he was hurt when it was the shortened season. And then, he's a 20 to 30 goal scorer. I don't think that the Flames need to worry about him and his production. I think that he would be a fantastic option for that first line. And it would be a lot of fun. He scores the filthiest goals, and they're such gorgeous goals and sexy goals that, like, the Flames just need it, you know? The Flames absolutely need a player like that. Apparently, the negotiations were going on during the season around, like, the trade deadline, and I guess they, like, really lowballed him. And he said, "No, are you out of your mind?" Basically, and I just think the negotiations with Nashville are not going very well, based on what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, the fact that nothing has been inked yet. I say that as I'm sure something just got done. Colin White is on unconditional waivers for a buyout. This is 1/3 buyout because of his age. Colin White of Ottawa. Okay, I literally don't know who that is. But sorry, I was hoping it was going to be like a Johnny tweet or something. We'll just wait. But again, Filip Forsberg, a very realistic options for the Flames to get. I think, $7, $8, $9 million for him would be great. I think that is a more realistic investment for the Flames than Kadri. I think, with him being an established player, with him having a track record of producing 20 goals, at least 20 goals every season, except in the shortened season last year because he was hurt. And of course, his first season when he only played 19 games. 13 games. So, it's more of a logical, reasonable situation versus, this player having one really good season and a great playoff run. It's just, a smart investment. But coming up next, we are going to talk about what we're going to do if Johnny walks. We're going to talk about some of the crazy, I don't want to even say like theories because they're not theories, but people are thinking, the teams that people think he's going to sign with because it's close to the East Coast or whatever, But first, we got to talk about Rock Auto. If you know me, you follow me on Twitter, you know that I am trying to squeeze every last ounce of my vehicle before I have to get a new one. And Rock Auto has been a lifesaver with that. Rock Auto, I've saved so much time and money by using Rock Auto. I don't have to worry about getting, not scammed, but, misguided at the car dealerships or the mechanic shops because Rock Auto is an online store that just, type in what I need for my little Hyundai Sonata, brings me right up, and the prices are reliably low for every customer. Does not matter your skill level, if you are a professional or do-it-yourselfer, Rock Auto has everything you need from A to Z. And again, their website is very easy to use, and you never have to worry about the price gouging. Head on over to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box so they know that we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. I went to look at the charts and I saw that we were number 66 on Canadian charts for hockey, which is absolutely incredible and makes my small market heart just so happy because I love hanging out with you guys. I love talking hockey with you, and I love being rational and dealing with a fan base that isn't inherently toxic. For those of you who don't know, I covered the Bruins for a long time, and there were some moments of not so greatness, but we're just going to appreciate the positivity and the rational minds of the Calgary Flames market. But what what we aren't going to do right now is worry about Johnny walking. I don't think that this is a situation where he walks. I don't. I really don't. I think that he is going to sign. I have a really good feeling about this. And honestly, my gut, she tends to never lead me astray. So, if he walks, it's not going to be pretty. He is on the short list of iconic franchise players: Iginla, Kiprusoff, Lanny McDonald, things like that. Like, he is such an iconic player and someone that obviously the Flames drafted and someone that they developed and really built their team around. And it's hard to think about the Flames as a team without Johnny Gaudreau. Like, that truly is one of the main reasons why I started covering this team, because I wanted to be I was so invested in watching Johnny. And as lifelong Flames fans, I'm sure it would stink for you guys too. Like, that's so hard to, watch your favorite player walk away or watch such an iconic player go somewhere else. And we know he loves Calgary. We know he wants to win here. But you're not going to convince me that he is going to go to a team like Arizona or New Jersey or the Flyers or Buffalo because, it's closer to his family. He has done enough suffering in Calgary, okay? He has done enough, and he wants to win. Why would he waste, the second half of his career with an organization that is doing a rebuild, like a complete rebuild? Arizona is literally playing in a college stadium because they don't draw enough fans in and whatever. Like, he's not going to New Jersey. New Jersey fans are absolutely delusional with this, saying that we're going to sign Johnny. Jack Hughes and Johnny are going to be line mates next year. No, they're not. They're not. He has done enough suffering. He wants to win. Buying out Milan Lucic and Sean Monahan makes no sense. It's not saving you much money. In all honesty, I think I did the math, and Lucic, you'd save like $333,000. So you're not saving much. You're not doing anything really. And you have to go out and replace him, not Luch, Johnny, which isn't something that can be done easily. You're not flipping your bottom six players around, and which I feel like is a just a revolving door during free agency. You see players just kind of signing like 2-year deals with one team and then just musical chairs. Like, you're replacing the best player on your team. And I would say that they are more than likely going to go after Kadri or Forsberg. Could they go after Claude Giroux? Probably. Do I think that is an idea that we need to entertain? We'll see in a week. I give it a week. You know what? Next Tuesday, we will absolutely revisit this because it will be the eve of free agency, okay? But I don't think the Flames would ignore such like a vacancy in their roster spot. They know that Sean Monahan is not capable of playing on the first line or even the second line. Andrew Mangiapane is still young and developing. Don't think that he's ready to, fill the shoes of Johnny, but they'd have to do it somehow, some way. And I would say Kadri and Forsberg are probably the top 2 candidates on their radar, because if this thing falls through, they're in trouble. They are in a lot of trouble. And I don't even want to entertain it because I don't want to speak it into existence. But it is something that we have to talk about. And, Matthew Tkachuk's qualifying offer is a whopping $9.5 million. We will see how this goes, and if that offer gets extended, we'll see. Or if he's going to hit the free agent market as well. But thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Locked On Flames. As always, I'm your host, Jess Belmosto, and I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for leaving comments, reviews, ratings. If you haven't done that yet, what are you doing? Make sure to rate the show 5 stars, leave a nice little review, and I will give you a hug virtually. Every review is a point towards Johnny resigning, okay? We're just going to keep that going, right? We're going to build up the good momentum, the good energy. And as always, you can find the show wherever you get your podcasts, and I'm here for you Monday through Friday, except for yesterday because it was a holiday and, it's fine. But I will be here for you tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and we're going to have a lot to talk about because I have a feeling that this week is going to be a lot of news rolling out from the draft in Montreal, free agency, maybe some signings, maybe some trades, some promotions. We will have to see, but find out here first on Locked On Flames.